We have another good guest. We've had a damn good show today. I am joined by Gerald, and I'm trying to get your last name, Celente, correct? I want to make sure I get that right. Gerald Celente.
That's right. But my real last name is Celentano. And
Whoa, say that one more time.
America, they changed the names. But and Adriano Celentano, he was the Elvis Presley of Italy. So I don't know if I'm related, but I do have that spirit as a Napolitano from the Bronx. It's a different trip,
You might be. We can hold out that hope. There might be a will somewhere. You've gotten a lot of money. Gerald Celente, he's a publisher, Trends Journal founder. He's also director of Trends Research Institute. Thank you for joining me, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for all you're doing. Thanks for having me on.
I would like to get your take on what is taking place in regards to Anchorage, Alaska. I've been getting two streams of thought on what has been taking place in the negotiations between Trump and Putin. And I guess maybe there are two ways to think about this. Let's start with the financial part first, since you do trends. Donald Trump has effectively passed tariffs on the entirety of the world. And in addition to passing tariffs on the entirety of the world, he has also put, quote unquote, secondary tariffs, potentially. It was 20%, or he dropped it to 20% on India. He was going to do it on China, but he's punted on China because Taco understands there are going to be consequences for it. Trump is trying to argue that we are doing great. The world is fantastic. And America has a fantastic future ahead of it with these tariffs because everybody else is now going to be, it's like a wealth management fund that European countries and the countries around the world are going to be dumping money into America that the president can move around to build factories and everything else for Americans. And he wouldn't lie. So I want to get your take on it to see if that is in fact true. And are we at $37 trillion in debt? Looking great.
First of all, on the Ukraine war, this is the Trends Journal. When it used to be a quarterly, now it's a weekly. And you see how happy that guy is? It's the United States overthrow the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine in 2014.
Oh, that's the article in 2014 when you put this in?
Yeah, this is the magazine from 2014 when the United States overthrew the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych. The article, Washington is Driving the World to the Final War, by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan.
You nailed it.
I was going to read a quick part here.
Oh, you nailed it. Yeah.
Washington, remember, this is 2014, March. Washington concluded that Russia needed to be confronted with or distracted by problems that would leave the Russian government less confident or able to counter Washington's aggression elsewhere. Ukraine presented the perfect opportunity for Washington to advance its hegemonic agenda. In a speech at the National Press Club last December, meaning December 2013, Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland boasted that Washington had invested $5 billion in non-governmental organizations, NGOs, in Ukraine for the purpose to teach democracy. All right? The United States overthrew the democratically elected government. People have no idea about how this began. Ukraine, not my language, the language of the European Union, IMF, the most corrupt country in Europe. They were busted after the Soviet Union ended in 1991. They needed dough. They were going to make a deal with the EU and the IMF. And Putin said, I got a better deal for you. I'm going to lower your price of oil and give you a lower interest rate. Yep. And Yanukovych said, okay, we'll go with you. No, you won't. People have no idea how they, Victoria Nuland, a piece of arrogant scum, caught on the cell phone talking to another piece of scum because they all are the United States ambassador to Ukraine. Jeffrey Pyatt,
Yeah.
caught on the phone saying, fuck the EU, we're putting Yatsen. Yatsenyuk was his name. All right? People have no idea. Let's just hate the Russians. When I was a kid, they had us hiding under a desk in case an atom bomb went off. Those Russians are going to, yeah, like hiding under a desk is going to make a difference if an atom bomb goes off. That's the stupidity the morons running the show. So going back to Trump and meeting, Trump is full of crap. Again, here. Hey, you elect me? I'm going to end that war, the Ukraine war in 24 hours. All right? Hey, now that I'm elected now. Before I get into office, before I'm inaugurated, I'm going to end that war, all right? This is Trump last week. This is from the Financial Times, actually this week. Trump warns severe consequences will follow if Putin refused to end the war. Yep, severe consequences. Okay, here's the deal. People have no idea that the people that took over Ukraine are the Azovs, Nazis, all right? The facts are there. Oh, and who's the guy that's the president, Zelensky? Yeah, Google it up. Zelensky plays the piano with his penis, all right? Look at him. The guy was a comedian who lied his way into office that he was going to be a peace candidate. Like Obama, the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner. Folks always folking us. Yeah, the Afghan troop surge. Anyway, right after he got elected, I could go on. They slaughtered over 15,000 Russian people in the Donbass region.
Yep.
Russia was part of Ukraine. Ukraine was part of Russia up until Khrushchev became the president of the Soviet Union.
Right.
Ukraine was part of Russia for like over 300 years.
Oh, Crimea.
And Crimea, of course. Ukraine, Crimea, all part of Russia. Khrushchev changed that. Anyway, they killed over 15,000 Russian people in the Donbass region. Ukraine did. And that's one of the reasons why Putin launched the attack. They wouldn't stop it. And our money, by the way, to go do it. So going back to that, there's not going to be a deal. And again, just more crap out of hey, I'm going to make a deal with Iran, all right? We're going to get a nuclear deal. Hey, fat boy, you're the guy that ended the nuclear deal. You remember when you were president that Obama put into place? And they shoved this crap down the people's mouth. And while they're talking about that guy, was it Witkoff, Jerkoff, the guy that's over there doing a deal? Oh, we're going to have a deal with Iran, and it's bombs away over Iran. How many times did you hear we're going to have a peace deal with Hamas and Israel? As Israel's slaughtering the Palestinians with our money in front of everybody's eyes. So Trump is full of crap. Russia is not going to give back the land that they've taken. End of story. Severe consequences. Let's go back to genocide Joe Biden. Remember when he gave over, depending on whose numbers you look at, between $250 billion to $350 billion our money to keep the Ukraine war going? And what did he say? They put the sanctions on Russia. Remember, all the companies pulled out of Russia, McDonald's, all these things pulling out of Russia, Starbucks, all pulling out of Russia. Putin's going to pay the price. Quote, no, he didn't. They became more self-sustaining and self-sufficient. Yep. Russia has very educated people, scientifically, technologically, culturally. The businesses that they left, the Russians took over. The economy's not doing as great as it was, but it's still doing okay. So that's the deal. And his putting the sanctions when he's on India. If you're buying oil from Russia, we're going to put sanctions on you. You know how much India exports to the United States? 2% of their GDP. That's it. You could care less. China's going to keep buying oil from them. India's going to keep buying oil from them. The BRICS are going to keep buying oil from them.
Yes.
Now, going back to tariffs, I just told you about how I hate Trump. I hate his support of genocide. I support tariffs. People hate me for this.
Do you?
It's in New
Do
York.
you? You got to explain that
Tell you
one.
why.
Go for it.
Because once upon a time, all right, just to make it clear that I'm a political atheist, I can't stand the crime syndicate. And I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate at one time. I was on the other side.
Right.
There's a T-shirt I did in 1992 when Clinton was
Slick Willie.
I didn't have sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. She always sucked my dick. That little arrogant little piece of scum that wasn't worth a penny, that's worth what? About $150 million now? Yep. That's the guy that gave us NAFTA. Get those jobs out of America. Bring them down to Mexico so you guys can make more money and pay me off. I'm up in Kingston. They used to have shirt factories here, Gant, everywhere. All over. Factories, factories, factories. Factories paid higher wages. Bill Clinton gave us NAFTA. That scumbag brought China into the World Trade Organization. Again, in tracking trends, you make connections between different fields. And I'll go in a whole different direction right now, but I'm going to go back to Clinton. There's going to be a dot-com bust. China's going to take over the world in AI. They overinvested in the trends are born, they grow, they mature, reach old age, and then die. AI was just born officially 3 years ago, 2022. You don't invest all your money in the first companies. Now let's go back to Clinton and why China's going to take over. Before China got into the World Trade Organization, 10% of Chinese 18-year-olds went to college. 10%. Now, almost 70%. Young people are totally AI high-tech addicted. 1.4 billion people in China, 347 about million in America. They're going to college. We're dumbing down. They're going to lead the world in AI. There's going to be a dot-com bust. Going back to Clinton and manufacturing. China, the Western nations gave China all the high-tech and heavy industry capabilities in manufacturing, high-tech and heavy industry that they never had. They never had. Look at China's GDP from 1970 to 2001. They officially got into the World Trade Organization 2 weeks after 9/11. Whoop, your economy skyrocketed. Hey, who sells the most EVs in the world right now?
China.
Yeah. We gave up our manufacturing. So here, go to Marshall's, go to any of these stores. Help wanted, help wanted, help wanted, help wanted. All we are plantation workers of Slavelandia. The rich have taken over everything. That scumbag, that little piece of warmongering crap, Clinton. Glass-Steagall Act, you like that one? How about this one?
Don't tell me that one.
Yeah. How about, it began with Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer that everybody loved. Oh, that gave us Mujahideen? Oh, you mean Osama bin Laden? Oh, yeah, we got to fight those Russians in Afghanistan. Yeah, that little slime ball. He's the first one to push interstate banking.
Yep.
Back in the day, Bank of America was only in California. We had thousands and thousands of local banks. Bill Clinton did away with one antitrust law after another. The bigs have taken over everything. When I was a young man, I'm the same age as Trump. Man, and if I look like him, boy, woo, hey, how about that, man? Could you move? No, I'm too fat. Anyway, I'm the same age as Trump. When I was a young man, there were hardware stores, stationery stores, drug stores, grocery stores. Now, all chains. Chains own everything. My uncles, may they rest in peace, they had a fish store in Rego Park in Long Island, one in Flushing, one in Jackson Heights, another one up in the Bronx. My uncle's butcher shop. No more, all gone. The bigs own everything now. Because of these slime ball, arrogant pieces of scum. Oh, Bill Clinton. You can hear him bullshit for free. What does he get? $300,000 or $400,000 an hour to speak to the Goldman Sachs gang? All right? Payoffs. So I'm for tariffs. And again, look at the immigration problem. Again, only write the facts in the Trends Journal. Biden letting them come in like crazy
Yes.
because they want cheap labor. These are the people that are working at Target, that are working at all these chains because they're not making any money. Oh, and talking about Bill Clinton, the slimeball murderous piece of scum, how about, Google it up, Madeleine Albright, not all that bright, and she rotten hell, saying, last on Leslie Stahl, 60 Minutes, is the cost of 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5 worth the price of what Bill Clinton has done to Iraq?
She says,
And
yes.
she said, it's worth the price.
Yep. That's hardcore, ain't it? That is hardcore. Oh, I think you may be frozen. Come back to me, Joe. Oh, there you are. Yeah, that's hardcore. I remember that speech. And just imagine if Putin said that. If they asked Putin, hey, are the price of, 500,000 children worth it? And he says, yes. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
What would have, the collective S-fit that would have taken place?
Yep.
I think I get your point. Your point is we need to protect our industries.
Yeah.
And tariffs are a way of protecting our industries.
And protecting out, I launched a movement called Occupy Peace. I have peace rallies every year up here in Kingston. John and Crown Street. It's the most historic four corners in America. And the seeds of democracy were sown here. Anyway, Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter are going to be speaking September 27th at 2 p.m. we're beginning. And I started this well over a decade ago. And one of the things I do is I read George Washington's part of his farewell address. Now, This is a real man that fought. Not like Biden that got 4 or 5 draft deferments that love war, or Trump that got 4 or 5 draft deferments that loves war. This is a real man.
He had bone spurs.
Yeah, he had a bone spur right on the ankle. Yeah. He says we should not become involved in these foreign entanglements. Basically, this crap has been going on for centuries. We're not going to fix it. We should not get involved in it. We have to protect America. And one of the foundations of Occupy Peace is we're in 700 bases in about 80 countries
that we know of.
Yeah. Close these bases down and bring home the troops. Protect America. And put them to work to rebuild our third world infrastructure. Look at the potholes everywhere. The subway in New York is a night in Calcutta. Amtrak? How about Amcrap? You been anywhere else, anybody in the world? Look at the crap we got here. So I'm against this war crap. I believe in what George Washington says and about not getting involved in foreign entanglements, and the same thing with tariffs. Mm-hmm. And again, look at the McKinley. They killed the guy. He was for tariffs. He was the last one. And they brought that scumbag Woodrow Wilson in. I was thinking, who ever heard of anybody with the name Woodrow? Imagine naming a kid, hey, Woodrow. Yeah, Woodrow. That little piece of shit. He gave us the Federal Reserve, federal income tax, the IRS, and World War I. And he did away with the tariffs, started doing away with it. Again, I believe in building up the manufacturing when we used to have it here. All the toys used to be made up around here, Massachusetts, all over the place. Look at Rust Belts. Look what the cities have turned into. All these corporations want to do is make more money. Look what they again, the facts are there. The rich are getting richer and everybody else is getting poorer.
I don't think I would entirely be against the tariffs if I thought they were put together in a logical way that made sense. I mean, if you ask Trump, when they asked him, it was like, hey, do you know how much the tariffs are going to be? Yeah, I have a feeling about it. It's like, what? Maybe you have a feeling about it. I get it if it's like we want to protect our auto industry, we want to protect our, farming or whatever else. I get it in a contextual, rational sense. I don't get that coming out of this administration, though.
No, you're right.
That's not the sense that I get. It doesn't fill me with confidence.
Right. We're putting 50% tariffs on Brazil?
Yes.
Because we're bringing that guy Bolsonaro to court?
Exactly.
What the hell do I care? And where's Trump? Who the hell are you to say what they should do down there? Hey, don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? I had lunch with Trump's brother, Robert, back in 2017. They had a restaurant over here in Wassaic, which is across the river from me over here. The brother went on to tell me that when the father died, he left the family over $500 million worth of real estate.
Really?
Yeah. Trump is nothing more than a spoiled daddy's boy. An arrogant daddy. Hey, we're going to put 150% tariffs. I changed my mind. Oh, we're going to extend it for 30 days. 30 days. Oh, I'm going to make it 90 days. And he makes a crap every day. Every day more. Here, I've been at this for 45 years. Every year we have top trends. Never before in 45 years, there was one of our trends, wild card.
Tells you.
It's a wild card, man.
That is the trend. Wild card.
It's a wild card. You don't know how this guy's the Trump card's going to play out the wild card. Every day, different story, different time. Here, I just read to you what Trump said. Trump warns severe consequences will follow if Putin refuses to end war.
Right.
Just before I got on the air, he's changing his tune already.
Well, I got to be honest with you. Trump needs an out. He needs an out. I don't know if it's going to be a sustainable peace. I'm doubtful of that. But if you see what is taking place on the battlefield, Ukraine is getting routed at this point, and they are breaking through at various points on the battlefield in a way that Ukraine can't compensate for. Russia has 2 reserve militaries waiting to come into the military campaign. Trump is screwed in this process. He cannot pass secondary tariffs. They would damage the U.S. economy. He's already passed tariffs on the world.
Yep.
So this is his desperate out. So I get the sense that they had negotiated something to even get Putin here to begin with. Now, I don't know what that something is. And I don't even know if it's something that they would ultimately work out. I do know that Trump is desperate. And because he's desperate, he may actually put something on the table that Putin would, at the very least, be willing to negotiate and talk about. So
they've already made the deal.
Yeah.
Whatever's happened, it's already done.
It's already done. Yeah.
And I don't know where it's going to go, but I do know that Russia's not going to give back. If they give back anything, it's going to be very little. They're not going to give back the Donbass region. And again, you talk about Crimea before. They had a vote, remember? 96% of the people voted to leave with Ukraine. And again, it was part of Russia for over 300 years. And it only changed under... there's the other thing, too. The deal made when the Soviet Union broke down between Bush Sr. and Gorbachev was that, quote, NATO would not move 1 inch further. There were 16 NATO countries back then, now 32. So if we had China down in Mexico and Russia up in Canada with missiles aimed at the United States, so everybody would be so happy here, wouldn't they?
Yeah. They would say that Mexico and Canada are independent nations and they can do exactly what they want. And if they want to aim missiles at the United States, it's perfectly okay. Because we're perfectly consistent, right?
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean,
by the way, this article, this Trends Journal 2014, to show you how they sell propaganda. You see that? This is Sochi Olympics. This is weeks before the United States overthrew the government. This is an article in the Trends Journal. Leading up to Sochi Olympics, media and government officials warned of looming terror attacks, hotels in disrepair, filth, yellow drinking water, and homophobes everywhere. The propaganda campaign primed Americans to view Russia unfavorably. They set it up before they overthrew the government.
And you know what's wild
For
about
us
that?
to hate the Russians.
It's the exact opposite now.
Yep. And
Like when Jon Stewart was talking about the subways, and they showed chandeliers in the Russian subways. I mean, just spotless streets. And Jon Stewart said that's the price of freedom. Our subways are
Yep.
trash. What the hell?
and going back to Russia and Ukraine, the Trends Journal, the war began on February 24th, 2022.
Mhm.
2 days before our Trends Journal magazine, from COVID war to Ukraine war to World War. World War III has already begun. There's going to be a false flag event that makes it, quote, official. What Israel is doing with the genocide in Palestine, the bombs away over Iran, they're bombing Syria, Lebanon. The United States, what, with Sudan or Somalia, we've been bombing the hell out of them like 57 times already this year. Wars, and Ukraine war is not going to end. But anyway, we said there's no way that Ukraine could defeat Russia.
Of course not.
Remember, these are the Russians, not my language. This is John F. Kennedy speech to graduating students at American University in June of 1963, all about peace. He goes on to say that no nation suffered worse in World War II than the Russian people.
Yes.
He said over 20 million of them were killed. He said, these are very advanced people, scientifically, technologically, spiritually. He said, these are good people. We should not go to war against them. Because if we do, his language, life on Earth will end in 24 hours and be destroyed for generations. That was 1963.
Right there.
He goes on to say that Russia lost their land, the equivalent, their homes, factories, and farms, the equivalent of Chicago to the East Coast. Operation Barbarossa, brought to you by Hitler, killed over 25 million of them. Who were the first ones to beat the Germans? The Russians. Napoleon marched to Moscow, 1812, left with 420,000 troops, leaving Poland to attack Moscow, came back with 10,000. You don't mess with the Russians. It's a different trip.
Gerald, you are fantastic. You're fantastic. And my audience loves you.
Thank you.
Trends Journal, where can people find it, by the way? I'm going to put a link at the bottom. I think I had an affiliate link in my other video. I'm going to get that link and I'm going to put it back at the bottom of this video when it airs, when I cut this. You were dead on the money at a time where every other media organization was effectively lying through their ass about how this war started, and even about the way they talk about it now with the series of lies. I mean, they have built buildings, cathedrals of lies in order to sell this war, to absolve the West and the United States from its role in promoting this war. I'm glad you brought up the Victoria Nuland, Jeffrey Pride clip, where she's like, F the EU, we keep the EU out of it and all this other stuff. Most Americans don't know that.
Nah.
Most Americans don't know it. That is something you would have in your journal to explain it in a way that the media in the United States are not going to put it. And if you look at the media right now, they would say Putin is a slick dealer. Donald Trump is going to be under Putin's spell, and Putin, former KGB agent, going against mob, like the characterization and the way that they use their language in order to denigrate or to mystify things that just aren't necessarily indicative of reality. It's astonishing. If your journal or your journal is hitting it in a way that's more honest and more direct. So,
well, you
good on
mentioned
you
about
for
the
that.
media. Again, Slick Willie Clinton, 1996 Federal Communications Act.
Yes.
He regulated the media. Back then, there were thousands of independent radio stations, television stations, newspapers. Now, 6 companies control 92% of the media.
Yeah.
I call them prostitutes, media whores that get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters. I used to be on Oprah, The Today Show, Good Morning America, Fox, everybody, all the time.
You were on Oprah?
Twice.
Oh, I have to look that up.
Yeah.
Fat Oprah or thin Oprah? Which Oprah?
Oprah was great back then, by the way.
Yeah.
I used to be on everybody. Nobody had a show like her. But I got blacklisted when I said the United States would lose the Afghan war, and we had no business going into the Iraq war. And that's when they took me off. I got back in 2000 and late 2007 when I had forecast the .com bust. And of course, they were making fun of me. That's why they wanted me on the media, because they said it's not going to bust. I didn't know what I was talking about.
And you were right.
Yeah, well, the magazine, it's right here. We did a whole article, .com bust 2 point, and we said it would bust by the second quarter of 2000. Anyway, one after another. And I'm sorry, not that one. That was the Panic of 08 in 2007. I took out the domain name, the Panic of 08 in 2007. And that's when they got me back on the media, because they wanted to make fun of me. I didn't know what I was talking about. And then, of course, the Panic of 08 hit. And by the way, when I talk about Clinton and all the politicians, this is a T-shirt that you get at the Trends Journal.
How did you know? Oh, that's just perfect.
They're lowlifes. I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate.
How did
I
you
was
know?
at the top. I saw what a clown show it is. Arrogant little boys and girls that suck their way up to the top. Bow down, bend over, and suck their way up.
But it seems to have gotten worse.
Guys out man to man, they fold like that, man.
You don't think it has gotten worse, though? Like going back from, I don't know.
What's your favorite? Here again. Google up Franklin Roosevelt seizes Japanese assets.
Right. No, I remember.
History Today. On July 26, 1941, President Franklin Roosevelt seized all Japanese assets in America, and along with the UK and the Dutch, they cut off 3/4 of Japan's global trade and 88% of their imported oil.
Right.
You know why? Those dirty Japs invaded French Indochina.
Right.
French Indochina? What the hell are the French doing in Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam? And you're calling it French Indochina? I wonder why they bombed Pearl Harbor. I can't figure it out. They cut off all their trade, all their oil, and they only import 100% of it. And what the hell do I care about what's going on in French Indochina? And what the hell are the French doing there? All of a sudden, and that's the other one I hate, by the way, the royal family. What royal family? They're a mafia. The sun never sets on the British Empire.
Oh,
we kill people all over the world. The Dutch, the French, the English. And the other reason, you could Google this up again, History Today. You know why else they cut off their oil? And those dirty Japanese took over the Cameron Air Force Base in Vietnam.
Right.
And the United States had troops just 600 miles away in the Philippines. What the hell are we doing in the Philippines? And the English had troops in Singapore. What the hell are they doing over there? This is the reasoning. Before Pearl Harbor, over 80% of the American people did not want to get involved with World War II that was already going on.
Right.
There's going to be another false flag event that sucks the American people into it. Again, 90% of the American people swallow the crap coming out of little Georgie Bush's mouth. We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden dead or alive. All right?
He's like Hitler, as they said. Babies and incubators. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, if they're subscribing, they put your link in. The Trends Journal is a grand total of $2.50 a week, a couple of pennies a day. Over 200 pages a week, from high-tech science to technocracy to AI to geopolitics, economics, on and on and on. We're giving people everything we can. And there's no magazine. You look at the comments in YouTube, there's no magazine like it. We give it every ounce of energy we can to help people prepare, prevail, and prosper in these dangerous times ahead.
Wait, real quick before I let you go. How did you know that that it was going to bust? That in 2007 it was going to crash?
It's very simple. You go back again. You got to tracking trends again. is where we are, how we got here to see where we're going. I mentioned little Georgie Bush. Again, we called the dot-com bust in the fall of 1999. We said it would bust by the second quarter of 2000, and it did in March.
Yeah.
The NASDAQ was down over 80% before 9/11. All right?
Wait, said it again.
9/11
You said the NASDAQ was down 80%?
over 80%, the NASDAQ crashed, the dot-com bust. Bush was in the toilet with his ratings. We're in a recession. Things are getting terrible. All of a sudden, 9/11. Everybody forgot about how bad it was, and then they artificially propped up the markets. You remember, hey, you don't have a job? You're out of work? You're deep in debt? Don't worry about it. Here, sign over here. We got a subprime mortgage.
Yeah,
You remember that one?
I do, unfortunately.
Okay. And when I say it's a crime syndicate and I don't vote for them, the banks, the bandits, and the military-industrial complex, the Federal Reserve, again, the banks and the derivatives games they were playing. Look it up. Bard College, Levy Institute. The Federal Reserve dumped in $29 trillion. $29 trillion to the banks, the bandits, that brought us into the panic of 08. The ones that caused it got bailed out while foreclosures started happening everywhere. And then what happened with the foreclosures? Oh, was it Blackstone? All these companies started buying up those homes, and now they rent them out. That never happened before. So we knew, you go back when the housing boom began. I remember everywhere I go, I see these long trailers with a half of a house on it, pieces. They were everywhere. They were building like crazy. They were overbuilding. We knew it was going to bust with the panic of 08. It was fake. And then I got it wrong in 2012. I thought there was going to be a bust. They didn't teach me about a thing called quantitative easing or zero interest rates in Economic 101, a graduate school. They'll make up any crap that they want. So that's what they did also with the COVID thing. Zero interest rates, trillions of dollars dumped into the markets. The thing should have busted. And that's why we had the inflation numbers. So they'll invent anything. And by the way, we're going to go digital too. We're very bullish on gold. And again, it's not what we like, what we want, what we wish for. We said when Trump got in, you're going to see Bitcoin prices and other cryptos skyrocket, because this is the Trump that hated it, made fun of it when he was president and after. But then when he got over $100 million from the crypto club and tens of millions of dollars for his inauguration from them, and his kids got into the business and he got into the business, we said this thing's going to skyrocket. But the world is going to go digital. They're going to make up something, because you talked about before when we started about the debt level. Was it 37 trillion? It's much more higher, by the way, when you put in Social Security and the other numbers. It's well over 100 trillion. They're going to come up with something. We have a new coin, and we're getting rid of that dirty dollar. We're going from dirty cash to digital trash. And we're going to make up something else. And the world is going to go digital. It's already happened in China. Nobody uses cash, credit cards, or anything. Everything's digital. So that's going to be the future. Again, going back to AI, it's a digital world.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying. But
Yeah.
they're debanking people now for their political ideology. Imagine what that looks like when you don't have cash.
Yep. Again, one of our cover of the magazine this week, the King James Bible got it wrong. The meek have not inherited the earth. The geeks have. The geeks are in control. I don't call these cell phones. They're slave phones. Go out. I'm out last night with my friend. And we're a beautiful place. Two people sitting at the bar on their phone. The whole time on their phone. No, nobody's talking to each other. Walk down the street, everybody's on the phone. Right? Everywhere you go, on the phone. When I don't have a cell phone. Don't carry one. I got one only for things I need in terms of when they send us things from the bank. Don't carry a phone. I did work for the cellular telecommunications industry going back to 1994 when they had boxes in the backs of the trunks of cars with aerials. I studied the radio frequency radiation since then. They're deadly, not my language. University of California, Berkeley, they're hardly reporting this stuff anymore. If you're on a cell phone for 17 minutes a day for 10 years, your chances of getting a brain tumor only increase by 60%. And these 5G towers are wonderful, aren't they? They're killing us in 1,000 ways. So I don't carry a cell phone. People are totally addicted to it. If the life is gone, people don't talk to each other. They're walking down the street. So going back, the world is going digital. Again, look at you. Look at the way you're dressed out. Nicely you are. Look at the geeks. They work. Look at them.
I will tell you what's funny about that. I did software for 10 years. I was a software engineer for 10 years.
So you know.
So,
yeah.
But I do radio now or podcasts. Gerald, I have thoroughly enjoyed this, and I always learn every time you come on the show.
Well, thank you.
Check us Trends Journal. Check it out. I would have the link at the bottom so you guys can get it. You've nailed it. You've nailed it. And the 5G thing I've heard too. And it's amazing to me that they don't even investigate it. It's just kind of like, yeah, let's put up stronger wavelengths. Yeah, people will be all right. We'll be fine. don't stress it. Everybody good.
And the other thing too, by the way, the only thing I see that could change this world, this country, is a renaissance. And that's what happened after the Black Plague in the late 1300s. Over 60% of Europe was wiped out from the Black Plague, filthy sanitation. They used to say in Italy, alla Romana et all'antica, in the manner of the Romans and the ancients, to describe the quality of their work. We need a renaissance. We need to bring back the quality of my parents' and grandparents' generation when the world wanted to come to America. And now people want to leave the place. And the people, other than the people coming from countries where they don't lack of basic living standards, government corruption, crime, and violence, other than those people, the other people from Europe and other countries don't want to come here anymore. It's not the same place. When I was a number 2 guy running a major trade association. And after the trade show, we'd put on an event for the people that exhibited. It's either 77 or 78. We took over the Atlanta Convention Center, and I was in charge of it. And the show for the people was Ella Fitzgerald.
I think you told me that.
Yeah. And she said to my former wife, when we went backstage to introduce myself, she said, "You look like my goddaughter Carmen, who lives in Harlem." I took over the Superdome, did one with Dionne Warwick. When music was music. And again, the Black Cats were leading the show, with the style, everything, man. But they call Louis Armstrong the ambassador of goodwill.
Yeah.
And it was the style of America. And now, again, the geeks, now it's just synthetic crap. I hate going out to a restaurant and boom, bam, 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 bam. When there used to be style and grace, we got to bring that back. Again, that's what changed the Renaissance. We need to bring it because facts don't mean anything to people. Again, when I started learning, first of all, when I was a kid, I started talking. My father's driving the car. He turns around, he looks at me, and he said to me in Italian, "Pappagallo, parrot, stop repeating what everybody else is saying and think for yourself." I was repeating the crap I heard on the news and stuff. And then when I got older and I started learning stuff, I said, "Pop," I said, "why don't people care?" He said, "Son, take it easy. People have little minds." Again, 90% of the people swallow the crap coming out of little Georgie Bush's mouth. We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden dead or alive. People know if Taylor Swift got laid last night. That's what they're concerned about. How are the Yankees and the Mets doing? They don't know about the facts of what's going on.
I don't know how
we
we
need a renaissance. That's the only way I see it changing.
I accept that. I just don't know how you get to it. I honest to God, I don't see a current. I don't see the turning of a corner. I don't see it. I don't see it. I cover news all
I
day.
can tell you how it could happen.
Things
Same way
fall
it
apart.
happened with the last time with the Renaissance. The Medicis made it happen. The banksters, the money people. If they put the money into it to make it happen, it would happen. Like our peace movement. Warren Buffett's son used to be one of my tenants at my 1763 Dr. Jensen house, the Nova Foundation. Not only would he never say hello to me, I'm the landlord, but I'm only a little guinea from the Bronx, so I got to make it clear. Why should he say, look, don't you know who my father is? Never gave us a penny for our Occupy peace movements. Not a penny. Look at these guys. Look what all you're talking about, the news and people don't know anything. How many weeks do we have to hear that Bezos was getting married to the chick with the fake tits?
Oh, don't tell me. Don't don't ask me that.
How
Don't
many
ask me that.
front page of the Wall Street Journal, $5 a day, by the way. I got to see this. People don't know anything. That's what they're talking about. So the rich could make it happen if they put their money where their heart is. But they're smarter than us. They're going to take all the money with them when they die.
They don't care.
I know.
If they cared, this would be a different world.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying they don't care. I mean,
No,
like, short of, yeah, they care about how do I maximize profit? It does at any expense.
And they're egotists. We're nobodies. Again, we're nothing more than plantation workers of slave land here. So get to work. I want to steal your money so I can send it to Israel so they can keep killing people. All right? More money to Ukraine. Keep that war going. More money for the military-industrial complex. Oh, remember Trump sold himself as a peace candidate? Oh, the guy that bombed Iran, Yemen, slaughter going on in Israel. Oh, that guy? Oh, yeah, forgot.
From my point of view, it all has to collapse. It's a mechanical process. It goes until it can't.
It's collapsed already.
Not
When
yet.
all else fails, they take you to war. I went back and talked about what Franklin Roosevelt did. What was going on back then? The Great Depression. What followed the dot-com bust? The war on terror. When all else fails, they take you to war.
I think the difference is, though, this is the last war.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Nuclear annihilation.
Yeah. I have a wooden desk, so clearly I'll be safe.
Oh, yeah, just hide under it.
Yeah. Gerald, thank you for this, man. I really appreciate you. You have a good one, okay? Be safe. Thank you. He is fantastic. He is fantastic. He is fantastic. I enjoyed that conversation. I'm going to put his link at the bottom of the video when I cut it. So anyone that's interested, it'll be an affiliated link. Anyone who purchases the journal, I think I get a kickback. But beyond that, the fact that he was able to nail that stuff going all the way back in time is by itself